Greetings and salutations.
It's me,
And this went over
Mario.
so well, I figured I'd do another one.
Hello.
Just kind of looking back on it, it was goofy looking nose.
Okie dokie.
So, looking back on Mario, I I'll probably end up playing Super Mario Sunshine. Don't know if I'm going to play it on here, but I'm going to end up playing Super Mario Sunshine for sure. Gonna get in there. Gonna. Okay, so today I'm struggling. So, the other thing I wanted to mention is tomorrow, and I do say tomorrow, even though it's like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Man, I missed the one. Great. 20.6 ain't bad. Tomorrow is the new expansion for Hearthstone, which is Escape from Violet Hole. I will be opening 84 packs, and then probably throwing a deck together to see how it goes, see what we get. Let's do this. Slip sliding away. Pretty sure we can all agree the penguins were universally hated. In this game, I don't think anybody liked the penguins. That's a dead Mario.
Mamma mia. Let's go.
Oh, we'll do it again. Yeah, Yep, that's dead Mario again. Oops.
Mamma mia.
As you can see, I'm struggling this time around.
Go.
No, with the expansion coming out, after I open the cards, I'm gonna end up making a couple of decks and see how they do. I don't know if it's gonna be in the same video, because the 84 packs is gonna take a while to open, because I don't like to just mass open and just kind of like rip open the entire pack at all. I like to take my time and really look at the cards. But that's me. Hey, there we go.
Here we go.
Now, when it comes to legendaries, I'm trying to think, what do I want?
Let's go.
I don't want... The one I don't want... I don't know. It's gonna be so hard to figure out which one I don't want. Because it's... I can't even say, like, oh God, what is his name? He's the Hogwaggle. Heist Baron Togwaggle. Because I don't mind the whole idea of Heist Baron Togwaggle. I think he's cool. this is the penguin I believe you have to take down there. Very annoying, I know. Yep.
Here we go!
That penguin was annoying. This Hyper and Togwaggle is, I think it's a kind of cool thing. It's one of those where it says it shuffles both hands together.
Peggle.
That's like, okay, you're shuffling both hands together. What happens? If you have a handful and they have nothing, you lose cards and they gain cards. And then it's like, well, okay, that's terrible. But what if they have, what if you have no cards and they have a handful? Fine, screw you, stupid penguin. He's probably gonna hate me for cheating. Told you. Because if back to the whole Heisbear and Togwaggle, so you end up getting a whole bunch of cards, and they end up getting Doodly Squad. That's why I think Heisbear and Togwaggle is not that bad of a card. There's a lot of people that don't care for it. They think like 8 mana do nothing because he's a 5/5. To me, he's not a 8 mana 5/5 do nothing. I mean, there is a potential that he could really do some damage to the opponent if you get the good cards. Especially in late game plays, having a dead Mario.
Mamma mia!
Having a late game play that robs them of their win conditions, or at the very least tempo swing,
Peggle.
massive card. So long as it's not robbing you of the same stuff, then I don't see the problem, right? It's like in any other card game. If you were to play like Magic the Gathering, and you had a way to effectively screw your opponent over while strengthening yourself, you'd do it, right? Well, there I go.
Mamma mia!
I mean, for example, let's say, I can't even think of a big, like, tempo swing card or a big win con that they can be used, that you can use something on. But just counter spells in general are kind of that exact thing in Magic the Gathering. Oh, I'm gonna play this card, which is a win condition. No, you're not. I'm gonna counterspell. Effectively the same thing. Same can be said for Yu-Gi-Oh! There's plenty of trap cards that did that. So, having something like Togwaggle to take away win conditions is huge. Especially if you're playing, like, against Rafam Warlock. Not that it's a very widely played archetype, because it's kind of cool. But if you were to play against Rafam Warlock, and you were able to steal, say, their Time Thief, I mean, it's just GG at that point. Unless they have a secondary win condition, which I don't think they will. Because most of them don't.
Here we
Most people are on the like 1-win condition. And as soon as that's over, it's over.
Let's go.
Red coins on a floating island. Isn't there a red coin down here somewhere? Okay, yeah. Really now. But I am looking forward to it tomorrow. I may record middle of the day. Yikes. I don't know if I'm going to I might upload the video immediately tomorrow, so if you see a video pop up, say, like, potentially in the middle of the day, and you're thinking, what is Quiz doing up, recording at this hour? Don't think anything of it. It's basically ripping into 80 things. I think it's gonna be like 86 packs. I don't know exactly the number. So far, the number one pack opening I had was Cataclysm. I think I opened like 104. I got both legendaries I was aiming for, which was Deathwing and Rexy. I believe. Mario, don't do this to me. Been wanting to misbehave since the other day. Yeah. I like 104 packs. But, come to think of it, I think every single card game has that one expansion that is just... Yeah, it's kind of like the dark horse of the entire game. You don't want to talk about it. And if you're a fan of said game, it becomes a problem because simply because the more dark horse expansions of a game, the more you have to worry about the company being like kind of poo and failing. Jeez, why did that take so long? Fine. You wanna know what? Haha. But no, Yeah, I think Magic the Gathering had a couple, but I can't remember exactly what they were. I know Ice Age wasn't very well received. Like a couple of cards out of it. A lot. Like Norrit. Norrit was a really good card. And it's kind of stood the test of time, too, because Norrit is pretty good this day and age, too.
Here we go.
I'm trying to think of other things. I know that I mean, I haven't really watched a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of, like, the competitive metagame, and I'm gonna give myself a little bit more coffee. I don't recall watching a whole lot of, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame, but I know that each collectible card game has had a stain on its recognizable past. Magic's had a few, Yu-Gi-Oh's had a few, and it's... you can only absorb so many of them before it just fails. Hearthstone has had two, at least in my eyes.
I'm tired.
One of which they say was Rastakhan's Rumble,
Let's go.
which I will agree. Rastakhan's Rumble was kind of manure. The problem is one set does not really alter the game all that much, if that makes sense.
Here we go.
Because the way Hearthstone does things is they have a whole year planned out, right? And they have 3 expansions in that year. Kind of like Magic used to have. They used to have like 3 expansions, and sometimes they were block sets, right?
Let's go.
Sometimes. Other times they weren't. Other times they were just kind of weird and mishmash, so to speak. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And that's been a constant thing in almost every collectible card game. Is sometimes they are making a complete hash of it. The other set that I think Hearthstone brought out that was a complete hash of it, and yes, this one I think negatively impacted the overall metagame comparatively to, say, other things, is because the overall metagame shifted heavily
Here we go.
during this time. And that was the Great Dark Beyond's StarCraft expansion. Absolutely just about ruined the game. Having said that, I think Magic the Gathering is doing something pathetic right now, and I do use the term pathetic not loosely. I use it very, very profoundly
Let's go.
right in front of me, for the sole purpose that, well, let's look at facts. Magic the Gathering right now, in my estimation, is overprinting cards. And I'm not talking the Magic the Gathering, like, digital card game, right? Because I'm pretty sure the digital card game is not that bad, right? All things considered, the digital card game, it could be better. And I say that because the digital card game has some flaws. One of those flaws that it has Hey, Eel, can you come out and actually do something there? Apparently not. Apparently the eel cannot come out to play.
Here we go!
So, Magic used, like I said, they used to print, actually physically print, not the digital print. They used to physically print cards every year, like three sets, and it was usually like 3 block sets. Then they kind of expanded it to, okay, they're printing a few sets, and these few sets that they're printing, yeah, you know, then they had some secret layers in there, and it's like, okay, I can see it. Like, one of them was an homage to, like, Bob Ross in the secret layers, and so on and so forth. It's like, okay, I get it. So they had a couple, you know, splashed here and there. No problems here. I didn't have any issues with it. Now, it's gotten so egregious in Magic the Gathering, they're printing a set almost every month. And it's gotten so bogged down that you have people basically, you know, it's like, oh, you have this, you have all these crossover cards, right? The Spider-Verse, Final Fantasy, and it's like, what is all this crap? Whatever happened to just Magic the Gathering, orcs, dwarves, that kind of thing? Now, of course, you'd be met with people saying, well, this is perfectly fine. To them I say, no. You know what would have made more sense than the, like, Final Fantasy set and all these other sets on Magic the Gathering? You're gonna think I'm crazy when I say this. Lord of the Rings. Makes more sense. Of course, I'm gonna hear, how does that make more sense, Chris? Well, let's think about it realistically. What does the Lord of the Rings have? Orcs, dwarves, elves, goblins, humans. A smattering of fantasy creatures. So kind of like Magic the Gathering, a smattering of fantasy creatures. Except, you know, Magic the Gathering also has Minotaur, Centaur, squirrels. They literally have everything. But instead they're like, no, we're gonna bring out, oh, I don't know. You know, the wow, couldn't even get that one up. That's alright. And they're gonna bring out the exact thing that people clamored for. Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy. But it was only Final Fantasy VII. Notice how they didn't bring out, like, Kefka or, you know, Sabin suplexing a train. Because if they brought out a Sabin suplexing a train card, I'm pretty sure that would be, like, the card to own. I mean, it was a meme. Sabin picks up a thing and then
Hegel.
suplexes a train. Amazing. But that's one of the problems, though, is the fact that you have people overproducing cards, overprinting, and it devalues the cards. What will this do? This will eventually destroy Magic the Gathering. And I don't mean like destroy it as in hypothetically destroy it, oh no. No, I mean literally they're printing themselves into oblivion. And they need to not do that because it is by far one of the most dangerous things they could do. Like, right now they're riding high because everybody, and I say everybody figuratively, everybody, in quotes, likes Commander. Except me, of course. I don't care for Commander. And... I know, blasphemy. I think Commander is run by a whole bunch of single card dealers wanting to make extra profit. And I've said that. I've said as much. That is my firm belief. Because everybody has all these chase cards, like, oh man, there's this card you have to get. And it's, like, how to know it's so bad is when you have people playing what are called proxy cards, which I didn't even know was a thing until my nephew told me. And that's for people who are so broke, they can't afford Commander. Well, if you have certain chase cards that are that broken and that popular and that expensive, this sounds like an issue. Who stands to make all the money off those? Well, single card dealers, of course. And the single card dealers they're gonna sit there and say, well, Commander's not made for the single card dealer. Really? You're gonna look me in the eyes with a straight face and tell me that you as a single card dealer is not just rolling in the money right now because of Commander? Really? They are. Single card dealers love the Commander format. Which is nothing more than the Hearthstone's which is nothing more than Hearthstone's format of Highlander. So it's like, what came first, the Highlander or the Commander? I mean... I'm not saying Hearthstone did it first, or that I can't say that they didn't do it best either, because if you ask me, I think Hearthstone did a better job with it than Magic the Gathering did. Because Magic the Gathering is like, oh, you get absolutely zero benefit for having 100 cards in your deck, one copy of each, except for, basic land. Hearthstone, on the other hand, goes, well, you know what, though? Hearthstone sits there and is like, that's an interesting concept, one of each card. Not everybody can run one of each card. But what we'll do is we'll run a deck type that says if you do run one of each card, you get a bonus. And that right there is the thing. So you get a benefit for running one of each card. Sometimes it's, one of them says, make all the enemy minions on the board go poof. I mean, that's a single board clear. That's quite literally just... You effectively win the game because you're just kind of going, and everybody's minions disappear. It's huge. So, knowing this, now you have ways to deal with it. And those types of cards sway tempo a lot. But it gives you a benefit. It says if you have one of every card in your deck. Battle Cry, do this. Commander just says, you have extra life. That's it. You have extra life. Oh, how benevolent. Thank you so very much there, Magic, for being a complete and utter wanker and giving us nothing into Commander. Not to mention we have to go out and get 100 cards. Can't have 101. Can't have 99. Nope. Can't have any of those. Gotta be exactly 100. That seems oddly specific. Huh, what comes in 100 card packs? Oh, that's right. The same exact card sleeves that they want you to protect your investment with. Interesting, huh? We want you to buy these card sleeves. That we also are having a Commander format that uses exactly 100 card sleeves. Curious thing. Remember that whole thing about when I said, you know, when somebody does something, you ask yourself one simple question: who stands to gain? Commander format, who stands to gain? It's not necessarily just the printing company of the cards. No, absolutely not. It's quite literally everybody. Card dealers. So who do you think came up with the, who do you think invented the rule set? Who do you think the arbiters are of the entire rule set? And then you'll notice how certain cards end up on the ban list, and it's like, well, wait a minute, why'd they end up on the ban list? Maybe because it's not that good of a card, but because it's severely popular in Commander, and card shops aren't making money on it because it's, well, so heavily printed. Weird.
Here we go.
Seems a bit weird. That's all, to me. And they're gonna keep doing it. Like, you're never gonna stop them. Hasbro is absolutely just beside themselves in love with making money in that way. No one stops my Mario. Nice.
Yahoo! Yahoo! Woo! Yeah!
Almost chunked it. Well, that was fruitful. There we go. No! Mario! Once I get the invisible cap, I will be done. Mostly because I don't want to drag this out any longer. I mean, yeah, it's a fun game to play, don't get me wrong. And I love it. And it went over fairly well on the channel. It's like 3 in the morning, and my mind is going to absolute pablum for brains. Like, which is rice cereal, in case you didn't know. And of course, with that happening of where my brain is turning into rice cereal this late at night. Oh, great, that one-up was just like, nope, straight down the hole.
Here we go!
There. I had a good time. I now have all 3 caps, and, it's just what I was pretty much talking about this entire time with card games. I see an unfortunate end for a lot of card games. Hearthstone included, Magic the Gathering, maybe not so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, I mean, they're kind of... Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say this before I actually sign off. Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems to be doing it somewhat right. Hearthstone's doing it right. Hearthstone, every 2 years, they rotate cards, they rotate standard, and then every year they rotate out the old set, and they bring in a new set. So then you have another set of cards, and one of the older expansions rolls out, right? Or the three of them roll out, and then you have this set of expansions. So, like Cataclysm, Violet Hold,
I'm tired.
and whatever the third expansion's called this year for Hearthstone will be there next year, but the first 3 which is the Emerald Dream, uh, Ungoro, and Across the Timeways, they're done, right? So that sort of rotating and consistent rotating of cards keeps the game fresh, keeps the standard game as fresh as can be, right? So that players can get on it. There's new deck archetypes, there's new metas, because some of the older cards rotated out. Some older cards that were rotated out rotate back in. So it's really an interesting nuance and chicanery that they pull. I like it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Does something similar. They've got quite a few formats and they do kind of cycle them around and everything. Magic's the only one that doesn't really do that. Not on their digital copy, not on their physical copy. They just kind of go, whatever. Now, why not? They don't explain. There are two things Hasbro could do right now for Magic the Gathering, and it would bring it back to life. In my eyes, and in many people's eyes, it would bring it back to life and revitalize it to a point where everybody would be happy. One of those things is, as I would say, the old standard format. 40 card minimum. No maximum cap, no saying you must have your top end is this card, this many cards, but you must have this many cards. Like regular standard right now, your top end is like 65, and your minimum, or maybe it's 60 card deck, and that's it. It's just 60 cards. You can't have less, you can't have more, it's just 60 cards. Your sideboard can have some, but that's to switch cards in, switch cards out, to adjust in between games, because you might have an answer to that deck archetype in your sideboard, and then you can sideboard after the game and shuffle that card in and shuffle a card out that you no longer need. Knowing this, if they need to go back to the old 40 card deck, the old standard, which was you must have at least 40 cards in your deck, there was no upper end. If you wanted to run a 200 card deck, you could. If you wanted to run a 100 card deck, you could. It was 4 copies in a 40 card deck, and believe me, for the longest time, that standard was perfect. They should just go back to that, except instead of limit 4, limit 3. So you knock 1 copy off to limit 3, that way your draw chance is lower. And then restrict cards as you see fit, but go back to the 40 card meta. Go back to the 40 card standard, Hasbro. Please do. That's step 1 that they could do. Step 2, stop overprinting. No more of this Fantastic Four, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Final Fantasy, SpongeBob, Transformers, Spider-Man, Avatar Aang. No more. None of those. Stop. I get you want to branch out and get all these fandoms to come in, but look at what you're doing. The hardcore base that you had is gone. You have very few people actually playing it now that are hardcore players, that they used to be hardcore players. They've abandoned it. Why? Because you're over marketing, you're over printing, you're overdoing it. You're killing it. So if it's one thing I do hope for, I do hope that Hasbro sells Wizards of the Coast. They won't, but I hope they do. Because I think Magic the Gathering would bounce back if they did. Personally, I see less and less people actively playing it. I mean, the Commander scene when it first started up was like big. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Commander's cool. I didn't care for it. And I never cared for it. And now, one of my friends who plays Commander, or used to, he went to a recent Commander thing, and he said, this was a few months ago. He said there wasn't as many people there as it used to be. So people are either already tired of the format, or it's just getting so stale that it doesn't matter. And that's the problem. You make a format, everybody jumps on board, you have a whole bunch of bandwagoners. What happens when this format gets a little stale? Happens all the time. You gotta keep things fresh. Take a page out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Book, take a page out of Hearthstone's book. Do that. Start rotating cards like they do. It'll be fun. But at any rate, I'm glad you joined me on this playing of Mario and talking about card games. I love card games. I love collectible card games. I think they're a blast, and I love playing Hearthstone. I think the expansions need to come out quicker. They need to start doing rotations middle of the year and just start rotating cards out, rotating cards in, just to keep things fresh. That's me. I would rotate things quicker, but that's just my take on it. But at any rate, I hope everybody enjoyed this video, because I know I did. I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow. It is currently 3:36 in the morning, and as always, have a good one.